What's up? It's Robert from Existence First, mental training for a modern world. This morning, the building across the street from me caught fire, and it was quite a scene. Fortunately, I don't think anyone was hurt because the space that caught fire was a vacant commercial space from what I hear. But nonetheless, the flames were quite high. I mean, this is a downtown area. These are not tiny buildings. And it was almost surreal to watch, you know. It's I think it's a situation that a lot of us find ourselves in sooner or later, this sort of moment of the things around us that are happening just seem surreal, and we kind of question, is this really happening? But then I come back to this conclusion that, you know, the event that happened was, I mean, clearly was within the set of all possible events that could happen in reality. See, in math, there's this thing called set theory, and you have these like sets of numbers. So you could have like the set of all even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, right, etc. And that makes up a set. And so when I think of reality, I think of reality having a set of possible events that could happen. And the building across from me catching fire is one of those events. I mean, it doesn't in any way violate the laws of reality. I mean, it certainly could happen. It's just not something you see every day. It's not something you would expect. Some buildings are up their entire lives and never catch fire. I mean, it's a low probability, but it's still, the probability is not zero. Same thing goes for other events in our lives. The passing or the death of a very close loved one, especially people who are sort of younger in age. We really don't expect it. And so when it happens, it's just sort of this, almost, we're in disbelief. It's this very surreal situation going on. But at the same time, the passing of a loved one, passing of someone very close to you, is totally within the set of all possible life events, as is something maybe more positive like winning the lottery. I mean, that's certainly possible if you play the lotto, that you could win the lottery. So that also is within this set of all possible events. And it's quite strange to think about, I mean, just how large that set is. I imagine it doesn't include everything. There's got to be certain things that are sort of impossible due to the laws of reality, or laws of physics or something, but the set of all possible events is quite large. But you know what else is in that set is every better version of yourself, every more advanced, more evolved version of yourself. Could be a version of yourself that's more confident, a version of yourself that's more playful, a version of yourself that's more hardworking or disciplined or whatever. That's there. It's within the set. I sort of think of this set as like the buffet of life, right? You go to the all-you-can-eat buffet of life, and they've got the counter out, and just like when there's food at a regular buffet, and you just kind of like look at it, select what you want, and put it on your plate. Similarly, life in reality has this buffet of all possible events that can happen, and this process of taking the events and putting it on your plate, building a good meal, is really like building a life. And I don't understand why people try to stay in such a narrow range. Like, they would just eat from this one tiny section of the buffet, when there's other sections of the buffet that are just so much more, so much richer, and so much, and I don't mean just in terms of money, but in terms of fulfillment and things like that. You know, there's so many experiences open. There's so many mindsets that you can try on. So it's like, go to the buffet of life and like take out a superior mindset and like eat that or whatever. So that's the reflection of the day. There's so much possible in life that when these crazy events happen that are very, very unlikely, you know, people storming the Capitol building or whatever, right? you have to still admit, like, okay, this was within the set of all possible events, and that also helps you prepare. I mean, earthquakes can happen, fires can happen, disasters happen, like, but you know, it's if any species on the planet is going to be best equipped to deal with those things, it's going to be Homo sapiens, the most intelligent species on the planet. So let's plan ahead as much as we can, develop systems. I mean, look at this. We had 10 fire trucks or whatever out here putting out the fire. Fortunately, it didn't spread. Not many species on the planet are capable of coordinating that sort of a thing. You know, you're not going to have a whole tribe of even chimpanzees having a designated, you know, firefighter in their tribe that, you know, they call that person anytime there's a fire in the jungle. They're not even that sophisticated. So let's take that example as an example of what we're capable of, what our potential is, and let's keep reaching for our potential. Think deeply and put your existence first.